Starting this YouTube video, how to change front brake pads. Both sides are practically the same. Just got to get your tools together, take the wheel off, use your 4-way or whatever tools you had to take your 4-way off. And I'm going to use a screwdriver, a flathead screwdriver, a ratchet and a socket. But this particular car takes an Allen key. So I have an Allen key socket. Sometimes it's a 12 millimeter or 15 millimeter. Depends on the car. And Phillips screwdriver, pair of pliers just in case I need them, and a hammer just in case I need it. As you notice, I didn't have a C-clamp or any special tools for this project. This would be the easy way to do it, and this is a simple way. All cars are pretty much have the same mechanics, so you can pretty much work on any car with the same tools. If need be, you need a C-clamp or a special brake tool to push the caliper in. That would be this part right here that has to go back into this side, so the new brakes go in. As you see, well, you probably can't see, but there's small pads here. Since the pads are going to be bigger, this caliper has to go in. These here pins, they have to slide. They have to slide back. So we'll walk you through it. I'm gonna get started. There you go. Placing the screwdriver behind the caliper and on the behind the brake, and braced on the caliper, I can actually pull towards me, and as you see, the cylinder is actually going in. And once I get it in, I go back behind the brake again, and I continue until it's all the way in and I can't push it in no more. That would be the same thing that the C-clamp does when you use the C-clamp. Okay, with my ratchet, I've taken out this back screw, and the majority of these vehicles, the newer models, since this is a 02, it's not the same, but most of the newer models, once you take out one screw, the actual caliper will lift up like a door hinge. You take the brake pads off, put the new brake pads on, and you're all set. But unfortunately, this one you have to take out both pins, take the whole caliper off, then put the brake pads on. Okay, now I have both off. As you see, the brake pad that fell off. Okay, raise the caliper up. That cylinder is now all the way in. It could actually go in a little further, so if I need to put it back on just to push that cylinder in, because the brake pads, as you see, are real thin. The newer ones are going to have more pad on them. So if I need to go back in with a little more, I will. But let's see where we go from here. I'm going to put the pads on there. Secondly, you might want to check these screws. These pins here, they slide in and out. So if need be, these are sliding in pretty easy, so I don't need to grease them. But if you need to, you can get the grease for it, which would be like $1.99, and it's grease packing bearing. You just put it on there, wipe it on, so this will slide easier. I'm going to put a little on here now, just sort of slide around. You know, do not apply this on the brake pads because you need your brakes to stop. So you just put it on there just like that. It slides easier. What happens is the caliper has to relax, so it has to slide back and forth. So it slides on these pins. So let's get the brake pads on, slide it back down, and tighten it back up. Now, the reason I had the Phillips screwdriver and a hammer is because if the pins were tight, I would take the Phillips screwdriver, put it right here, and knock them out, just so I can put the grease on them all the way through the tube here, the cylinder that it sits in. So I didn't need that, so I won't be using it, but it's good to have just to make sure you don't need it, and just be prepared. Now, as you see, the caliper is back down, and sometimes it's kind of tight, so you might want to tap it. The pins on the brakes should hold it so it doesn't go too far, and then you can start tightening up the screws. Once you tighten up the screws, your brake pads are replaced. Now, to note, because I pushed this caliper pin in, there's no fluid in the brake caliper. All the fluid went back up to the master cylinder. So before you drive, before you put it in drive, reverse, or anything like that. You want to pump the brakes until they get hard again. That puts the fluid back into the caliper. I didn't lose any fluid, so I don't need to add any fluid. So with that said, this is a brake job on a 2002 Pontiac Sunfire. Some jobs are easier, some jobs are harder. Some jobs require a few more tools. Some jobs just take a screwdriver, hammer, and a socket set. If you like this video, push like. If you'd like to subscribe. I have more informative videos in the future. Hopefully you enjoyed it. See you next time.